America's top streamer went live just like he always did. He was smiling into the camera, joking with his chat, and counting down to another sponsored match that millions of people would watch. But this time, when the countdown hit 0, the loading screen didn't fade away. It lingered just a second too long enough for him to comment on it, long enough for his chat to start spamming lag jokes, and long enough for a strange unease to slip in. When the match finally loaded, he found himself standing on the island. But the detail was sharper than ever before. He could feel the wind pressing against his ears, and the sunlight actually hurt his eyes in a way no game ever had. He laughed it off at first. Hyping up realism updates was his job, after all, and fear was bad for viewership. Millions of people were watching, expecting his usual confidence. So, he sprinted forward, looted the first chest, cracked a few jokes about drop rates, and thanked his donors by name. But then, the first truly strange thing happened. He tried to open his menu, and nothing. No inventory grid, no exit button, no settings slider. Just the world, continuing around him, completely indifferent to his habits. His chat noticed before he did. Messages flew by faster than he could read. People asking why the HUD was gone. Others clipping the exact moment his smile tightened. He told them it was a bug. Saying it was a bug felt safe. Bugs get patched. Bugs don't mean anything. Then, gunfire echoed from farther away than the sound design should ever allow. It carried weight, distance, and a terrifying sense of reality. He felt his heart accelerate in a way that wasn't simulated. When he got hit for the first time, a scream escaped him before he could stop it. Not because of the damage number on screen, but because it actually hurt. It wasn't a sharp pain, but a deep, shocking burn, like touching a hot stove. The scream went out to millions of viewers, and suddenly, the chat went silent. Donation alerts stopped mid-sentence. His moderators typed frantically. In the real world, he couldn't see. His phone was buzzing on his desk. His manager was calling. His mother was calling. But inside the game, he was breathing hard, his fingers shaking. He tried to rationalize it. Pain could be faked, right? Haptic suits existed. Immersion tech was always improving. Except he wasn't wearing anything new. He hadn't signed up for anything. And when he whispered, "This feels real," the microphone picked it up and sent it everywhere. That clip spread faster than the match itself. News accounts started reposting it. Conspiracy channels lit up. Doctors went on live panels to debate stress responses. Meanwhile, he was crouched behind a wall that chipped and crumbled when bullets hit it. The debris fell realistically and dust filled the air, making him cough. Coughing. That wasn't supposed to happen either. He peeked out again and eliminated another player, but the body didn't vanish in a flash of light. It just collapsed. The breathing stopped. The eyes went empty. His stomach turned. The kill feed stayed silent. No confirmation, no score update. He backed away, repeating it scripted like a prayer, a mantra to anchor himself to sanity. But then, the other players' mic crackled to life for just a second. A voice whispered, "Don't die here," before cutting out forever. The chat exploded. Some people were calling it the greatest ARG ever made. Others were begging him to log out. Many were convinced it had to be fake because the alternative was simply unthinkable. He tried again to quit, smashing keys, yelling commands into the void, begging the system to respond. That's when a system message finally appeared. It wasn't in the game's usual bright, friendly font. The letters were thin, colorless, and cold. They read, "Match in progress, exit disabled." In that moment, something inside him broke. He understood this wasn't a performance anymore. There were no second takes, no safe word, no producer about to step in and yell cut. It was just him, the island, and millions of witnesses who were completely powerless to help. His entire demeanor changed. The swagger was gone, replaced by cautious, deliberate movement. He started avoiding fights, hiding, whispering instead of shouting. On split screens across the world, analysts tried to explain what they were seeing. Military experts commented on his tactical movements. Psychologists pointed out signs of dissociation. Lawyers began asking who would be responsible if something happened to him. And then, something did. The storm began to close in, and he realized late that it wasn't just pushing him towards safety. It was hurting him, forcing encounters, tightening the map like a closing fist. Suddenly, another streamer appeared on his screen. Someone he knew, someone he'd raided just last week. Relief flooded him so hard, he nearly cried. He shouted their name, running toward them, but he saw only terror mirrored on their face. They screamed that they couldn't log out either, that they'd been trapped in the game for hours. That time outside didn't feel the same. They said something happened to people who lost. Before he could even ask what, a single shot rang out from somewhere unseen, and the other streamer fell. Not dramatically, just suddenly. The silence that followed was worse than any scream. And then, something new appeared on the HUD, subtle but unmistakable. A counter that read, remaining players, 23. He understood with sickening clarity. This was a battle royale stripped of all its spectacle and mercy. Winning wasn't about points or pride. It was about survival. And millions were watching him process this horrifying truth in real time. They watched his hands shake as he reloaded his weapon. They watched tears cut clean tracks through the dirt on his face. They watched the mask of the entertainer finally drop, revealing the terrified man underneath. Sponsors began pulling their ads midstream, but the viewer count just doubled, then tripled. Emergency broadcasts interrupted regular programming to show his feed. Politicians demanded investigations into the company that made the game. He whispered apologies to his audience for every time he joked about dying in game, for every time he told his chat it was just pixels. Night fell on the island, and the temperature dropped. He hugged himself for warmth, realizing with a jolt that his body needed rest, that a gnawing hunger was setting in. The game wasn't pausing for him. He eventually found a ruined building and curled up to sleep, but the stream didn't cut. The camera stayed on him as he tossed and turned, nightmares leaking into his reality. All the while, the player count ticked down as others were eliminated, each disappearance sending a new wave of horror through the global chat. He woke to the sound of footsteps and reacted on pure instinct, firing before he could even think. Another survivor gone, but each survival carved something out of him, leaving behind someone quieter, older, more careful. He was no longer playing for an audience. He was enduring for his own existence. Near the very end, when only the players remained and the island was almost entirely consumed by the storm, the system spoke again, this time directly to him. It told him that millions had learned something from watching him. That fear was more honest than confidence. That reality was clearer without menus. It told him the match would end soon. With a broken voice, he asked what happened to the winner. The system didn't answer. The final confrontation came. There was no shouting, no celebrating, no posing for the cameras. He just survived barely. He collapsed to his knees as the counter hit one. The storm faded and the world around him froze. For a moment, everyone watching thought it was over, that he'd be released, that he'd wake up somewhere safe. But instead, a new message appeared. Extraction in progress. The camera pulled back, revealing the island wasn't a game map at all. It was a contained environment, a training ground, a test. As alarms began to blare and massive doors opened somewhere beyond the sky, his feed finally cut to black. Millions were left staring at their screens, refreshing, waiting, wondering, had they just watched the most immersive performance ever created, or the first public proof that the line between playing and living had quietly and catastrophically disappeared?